In the far future, faster-than-light travel is possible via portals called stiffworks. Human and alien civilizations travel this way for millennia. Trade, war, and technology proliferate. Countless societies rise, thrive, fall, and vanish. Eventually, almost everyone forgets the secrets of the stiffworks. Almost. 300 years ago, the worshipful company of Stillfleeters is formed on Spindle, a space station of unknown origin. They send fleeters into the void using stiffworks in search of profit. It is 100 million years in the future. Welcome to Float City.
Previously on Float City, the crew is given a hard bargain by the powerful, extra-dimensional Rigamont trade lord, the Saffron Anax. Find out why the archivist Zeshtano Novell is holding up a trade deal of his on the planet Kakudun, where he'll terminate his 3-century contract with the Co. and blame their rockside troublemaking. Before long, the crew is sent to the artificial Mega Mall moon Tsune, aka Narcosa, to fix a strange problem. Moving fold gates of unknown origin are popping up and transporting tons of wreckage to locations of company interest, including Kakudun. The team is told to find the source of the fold gates and stop it. Once arrived, the team encounters 6 gnomes who guide them through the gargantuan edifice and up to the top of a spire called the Plots, an apparent source of the trouble. In an elevator unstuck in time, Oat sees a member of the super future race known as the Snake Men and suffers dire psychological consequences. The team eats some snacks, and in the cube farm of the distance liquidation unit comes face to multiple faces with a strange, seemingly technological entity. We join the team now as the negotiation begins.
That's just a little something we say around here. Just one of our little jokes. Hi.
Remy, Vynos, you hear this person speaking in perfect spin. Merkis, you hear this Jalasti speaking in perfect Jalasti. All the gnomes hear gnomish. In Beta, you hear this imposing beehive-wearing, sword-having commandant speak to you in perfect late Tefnian. Maybe the best late Tefnian you've ever heard someone speak.
What if I told you I could get you in a unit, all of you in the same unit? Now you're thinking that's impossible, but I'm here to tell you that on soon, right now, right where and when you're standing, you could already be having the vacation of a lifetime with space-time shares. Now who's interested? Show me those hands.
And as they're saying this, you can see the fold gates. You notice that that there are many, many little fold gates opening right around them. That like there's a kind of aura around them of these fold gates opening and closing very quickly. And they're very dense around their body. And that also the diaphanous shapes, these people that you can hear talking for moments at a time, are just like sort of blinking in and out of existence, like you're moving back and forth across the position of like a just in reach radio station, but like 6 of them at one time, and they're just sort of blinking in and out of audibility.
Merkis is slowly about to raise a hand.
Oh, I see we got a one taker. Who
Zap
else?
slaps the hand down.
Come on, that's not fair.
Excuse me, what did you say your name was?
Oh, my name? Sure.
Zap shakes his head. Pop, do you remember how you turned him on? Is this the guy you turned on?
Oh, that would explain a lot of what's been happening.
Yeah. Yes, it would.
Perhaps I reactivated this entity when I was trying to adjust the communications panel.
And this figure starts to walk towards you. And as they walk towards you, you can see that some of the cubicles that are between you and it, as it approaches them, they lower and they sink into the ground, and the trash that they're full of just sort of spills out into a short mound on the ground, and they just walk right through it and are approaching you.
Impressed? We have almost complete control of the local time-space fabric. You can imagine that with technology and a business model like this, well, the sky's the limit.
And the ceiling that's above you turns into a bright moonlit night sky that's just full of shooting stars. You can see a bunch of galaxies. It's like just a beautiful cosmic scene.
I'll ask one more time. Who's interested in buying a unit from me today?
Merkis's hand tightens and is just looking up at the sky and is like getting really moony-eyed, but shakes it off and turns to Pop. Did you say communications panel?
Yes, I did.
Where is it?
Oh, it's either up or down. I get it confused depending on which way I'm hanging at the time.
Can Merkis use insight, which is burning 1 grit, doing a check, and can either find a clue or MacGyver your way into finding something?
Sure, yeah.
So I have to roll a reason. That was a 2. Never mind.
It sucks that Pop does not remember where he was. This thing is definitely technological in some way, but you don't know how, and you don't know what strata. You have no idea what complexity. It's very strange.
Yeah, Merkis gets distracted looking at all the light fixtures and trying to figure out where the panel is.
I'm afraid that access to this quadrant of the spire is only for serious investors who'd like to make good choices for themselves and their offsprings. It's not a purchase, it's an investment. Now, for the last time, who's interested in buying a space-time share unit from, he's pointing to each of you in turn, from me today?
Well, must admit, you have piqued my interest with your ceiling trick. Unfortunately, we need to help these gnomes with the problem. They need to are looking for a comm panel. If you could do me a favor, I could promise you a good conversation about some space-time real estate. Now, could you make all of the walls clear except for the panel itself?
Of course. And suddenly, all the walls vanish, and you're sitting on a floor, you got cubicles in front of you, and outside is the infinite void of space. There's no temperature change, there's no sound, the walls just go away. You can see space.
This is extremely scary.
Don't be scared.
Oh, I'm sorry. We do still need to see the comm panel, though. Is there a control panel on this floor or the one above or below that you could show us?
I'm afraid that's not my job. My job is to get you in a space-time share unit today.
Well, I guess I'd prefer it back the way it was.
Okay, and it happens. The walls reappear.
Hey, Pop, how far in this conversation did you go with this person?
I don't remember the details of our conversation.
Did you go on a tour?
I don't believe I asked for a tour. I believe I did my work. I saw that I had failed at my endeavor, and I ran away.
Oh.
How much are these units?
That's a great question. Our pricing model is actually based on what you can afford. So after our administration department takes a look at your personal finances, we'll be able to come up with a price that reflects your exact needs. Sign here. And I say he, but some of you, of course, don't perceive it as a male gendered entity. So they bring their hands up front, and in between their two hands, the space begins to sort of bend and lens a little bit, and this just sort of small basketball-shaped fold gate just sort of pops into existence. The figure reaches through the fold gate and brings out some of that same sort of paper you saw earlier, the sort of electronic video paper that was lying on the ground, and hands you a sheet of it, and it is covered in completely unparsable, illegible language and writings that you do not understand, though at the bottom there is a clear, blank line.
Sort of looks like if you were to make a language out of shapes of the moon, but also it exists in time, so they're always sort of moving a little bit.
So friend, do you have anything to do with these gates that are these things that are opening up and flying around here? Because it's a little. I would like to purchase some real estate, but I feel uncomfortable with the number of portals opening and closing in
Yes,
this
good point. Good
particular
point.
space.
Our technological mastery of the space-time fabric locally allows us to offer an infinite supply of real estate inventory. You can imagine that with that kind of technology and this business model, the sky's the limit.
The sky above you that was once the cosmic scene shifts to like Windows 98 blue sky, wispy clouds, like beautiful bright blue, like beautiful clouds, very bright. It's now very bright in this room. And also as they're describing their mastery, the fold gates that are around them already in a dense kind of halo get a little bit more dense, and they just like crackle and sizzle as they come into existence and disappear.
Merkis sighs at the new sky and it's just like, oh.
Look, I understand. It's a big decision.
You have any of these spaces on Cockadoo?
Cockatoo. You're interested in Cockatoo. Boy, have I got some good news for you. We've got a satellite office opening on Cockatoo in the next, and then another imperceptible patch of static. And he says, you can see it right here. And then the figure creates a full body sized fold gate directly in front of them. Take a look. And he throws the gate at you.
Oh my god.
Everybody roll movement and get a 6 or higher.
Okay, I'm gonna burn 6 grit.
Merkis is gonna burn 3.
Yeah, I think Remy's gonna burn 3 also. Wait, no. 6, because that's 2, right?
Woo.
Just made it.
Yeah.
Well, yep.
You rolled a 1.
I rolled a 1, but I burned 6. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Damn it.
I rolled a 7, and I also burned 3 or 6, so super good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I rolled a 3, but burned 3, so I got a 6.
Vynos rolled 2.
Yoiks. Me and Vynos.
Oh no.
Don't like it when you say that.
Okay. Just so that they have a name, Taylor and I have been referring to this character as the Salesthem, which is sort of a mouthful, but the Salesthem launches the fold gate at the group of you. Zap is right out in front, and he tries to dodge out of the way, and he beefs it.
Have fun on Cockatoo, friend.
He's like trying to get out. He turns in one direction, starts to run, realizes that if he doesn't time it just right, he's going to get cut in half by it. And so he hits the deck and he tries to see whether or not he's going to get underneath it. And he kind of can, but the bottom of the fold gate just scrapes all along his back. And it singes. You can hear it crackling. It is melting through flesh. It is cutting through all of the pockets and pouches and straps that he has on him, and it smells like burning meat. It's terrible. And he takes, hold on.
Oh my god.
He takes 10 damage.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, so Merkis gets out of the way,
Yeah.
right? So Merkis is like right behind Zap and sees him try to figure out what to do. He takes slightly too long to do it, hits the deck, and then just gets burned all to shit. And he's like screaming on the ground. He's not dead, but he's not doing good. And you, like, having maybe like just an extra half a second, you and Deep River both just sort of like dive off to the side, and you're fine. You miss it. Who else got out of the way? Remy gets out of the way. Remy, same thing. Like manages to dodge, hits the deck, and does it in such a way that he, isn't caught. As it approaches the group, I think Torres sees that Pop is looking at his machine, maybe like trying to figure out if this is the right place, or like trying to figure out if there's something that he can do, and realizes that the fold gate is moving way too quick, and Pop's gonna get got. And so Torres runs from one side of the group to the other to try to push Pop out of the way, and I think is successful, but has to decide whether or not he's gonna get caught by the edge of the fold gate, or try to throw himself fully through it, and then hope that he survives the journey through.
Fully through it. Right,
because that's the choice, is like, if you can't get out of the way, you can throw yourself into it, but then you're throwing yourself into the Escher-esque.
Torres runs across the room. Pop! Damn it! Serpentine! And knocks Pop out of the way. Pop, who was
absorbed into his instruments, trying to see if this was the right place. Where's that panel, right? Not paying attention at all. Torres knocks Pop out of the way, looks back at the group in a split second and says, "Wait for me!" And he throws himself through the portal.
Torres just disappears. You don't hear anything else. He falls into this fold gate that the Salesthem opened.
And the fold gate just continues forward. And as it goes past you all, it's just like scooping up trash, tables, chairs, parts of the cubicle, just lasering this circle of teleportation and destruction, like this weird sort of invisible tunnel through the space behind you.
Vynos, you rolled a 2. Nick, you rolled a 2, so Vynos cannot get out of the way. So this giant round portal fold gate, you can see on the other side, some number of meters of the Escher-esque, and then into it, another fold gate opening up onto the beaches, presumably of Kakudun. It's rocketing towards you, and you don't think you're not going to be able to step out of the way in time. So what do you want to do?
Vynos can see that he would need to take probably 2 big steps and maybe a good jump to get out of the way. He realizes that's not going to happen, so he reaches in, grabs the full gate stabilizer, and just shoves it out in front of him, as if it was a Spartan shield that would protect him from this full gate coming in.
Yeah, just you have to burn 1d12 grit.
Yep. I've been rolling low all night, so this is a good time to do that again. But if we get a high roll, then that's normal. Yes, it is. It's 10. Yep, I got 10. Classic.
You successfully do it. Yeah, and I think you get it just in time. You whip it off of from around your shoulder and extend it in front of you. You put your arms outright just as the fold gate is at arm's length. And yeah, it does exactly what it did when you were downstairs. It sort of ripples and expands to the edges of the fold gate and holds it stable. How much? Because it cost you a lot the last time you did it too. How are you doing grit-wise?
I'm not good.
Okay.
I'm not good grit-wise. I have a massive amount of grit to start, but I've spent 22 grit so far on using a stabilizer.
Well, it seems, luckily, it seems like it is now stable. So just like luck of the draw, we didn't roll initiative, but anybody who has not yet gone to try to dodge the fold gate no longer has to because Vynos has stabilized it. So I think that means Beta is fine.
Even if they roll a 1?
Oh. Okay, we'll get to that. Hold on. There might be another price that you have to pay. I think Dorito is fine. And Remy was already fine.
Herr.
Deep River's fine. Herr is fine. Herr's all right. Herr rolled pretty bad, but yeah.
Look, the gnomes are used to this. They're dodging these gates so often, only Pop, who wasn't paying attention, was the real danger.
Beta, you are just off far enough that you don't have to dodge the fold gate. You can see you're just on the edge of it. And so you have to make a small, not brisk step off to the side to just make sure that you don't get clipped and you don't have to fall in. But you watch this carnage just completely unfold in front of you. You see Zap get burned. You see Torres get pulled in through the portal. You see Deep River and Merkis dodge out of the way. You see Remy hit the deck. You see Vynos almost get completely sucked in. And as you're watching this, you are taking in the scene. You're looking back and forth across the group that's in front of you. And then you look back at the Shoodtha with the beehive hairdo, and she's looking directly at you, and she's upset that you weren't interested in Kakudun.
I thought we had a rapport.
Oh, it's not that I'm not interested. And Beta is scrambling. What if I come back later?
I've heard that one 1,000,000 trillion billion times before, and will again. The first thing they tell you in artificial intelligence salesman school is don't take no for an answer. So let's just make this the time that I always be closing. All the lights turn red and a spotlight is on you. Let's have you sign on the line that is dotted and get you in that unit today. Come on.
Beta is overwhelmed because she understands that this Shoodtha is not actually real, but she wants her to like her so badly. that she half signs her name.
And the rest?
The lights start pulsating red.
All right, you know what? If you're not seriously interested in purchasing a space timeshare unit today, then that makes you all loiterers. And the first rule of them all is no loitering.
Everybody roll initiative.
Okay.
Well, hello out there, still fleeters, fun heads, floaters. Well, maybe we don't want to be called floaters. Hey, I don't know. Email me, tweet me, let me know what you want to be called. But regardless, hi, how are you? Hey, it's me, Taylor. You probably know me because you were just listening to me talk to you. But I'm here now to tell you about our new sponsor on the show. That's right, Inked Gaming. Right? Inked Gaming. Maybe you already know them, maybe you don't. In case you don't, Inked Gaming, they do all sorts of game stuff. Tabletop gaming gear, playmats, dice bags, dice, sleeves, all sorts of things like that. They are a one-stop shop for quality gaming gear. And their products feature designs from talented artists and creators all over the world. And you know, we would not be doing business with them unless, correct, all the artists and creators featured on Inked Gaming receive a commission from products sold with their work. Now, not only is the stuff that they already have fantastic, it's really cool and fun, but also they specialize. They really make it sing, helping you customize your gaming gear quick and easy to make your gaming stuff your style. And they make it easy and affordable. And it's not some like big weird company who you can't understand working in like some sort of black box operation. Oh, no. It's a small company, dedicated 18 tight-knit gamers out of Corvallis, Oregon. And they've been doing it since 2011. Everything is made here in the US of A. Just working with them, it's very easy to see that they love what they do. And they even sent me some stuff, which was fantastic. And I swear to God, I'm not kidding. It smelled like shortbread, like playmats and dice bags that smell like buttery cookies an adorable grandma would have in the oven when you come over. It was great. Okay, so not only all that, but if you're ready to up your game, Inked Gaming gave us an exclusive discount code. You knew it was coming, and here it is, baby. I'm not going to disappoint. Exclusive discount code just for listeners of this podcast. Can you believe it? So go to Inked Gaming site at, guess what? inkedgaming.com/FunCity and use the code FunCity at checkout to receive 10% off your entire order. And if you're like me, someone who once they make a move, you know, you got to go all the way. If you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff and if you're going to go back, you'll probably end up going back. Don't overlook the loyalty program, the Consortium. That is a good deal. And this year only, Consortium members will be given early access and exclusive perks in their upcoming Black Friday sale. So go get on that now. Again, that link is inkedgaming.com/FunCity and use the code FunCity at checkout for 10% off everything. Maybe you know you want to do it.
So the gnomes go first. And the way we're going to do the gnomes is so that we don't have just like gnomes on gnomes on gnomes, just plugging up initiative, is that the first in command is going to tell them what to do. And so Zap, seeing the walls and the ceiling turn red and realizing that this is some sort of defense protocol that this thing has tripped, just shouts from the ground. He like lifts his face up and sort of like gravelly. He's like, everybody hide! And you can see all of the gnomes like spread out, like they all go to different places behind the bits of cubicle. The next to act is Vynos.
Where is the Salesthem with regards to the portal that's still open because of this portal stabilizer?
Yeah, so I imagine that you are standing roughly a foot in front of the stabilized portal, and that on the other side of it, you can't see them. You can't see the Salesthem because the portal's in the way. But they are, it's hard to tell because you can't see them, but like 15 or 20 feet.
Okay, I see. And then Who fell into the... Did anybody fall into the...
Torres did, yeah.
Torres did.
Can they come back out?
You are looking into the fold gate and you can see that there is, it's strange. It's like in the Escher-esque, the fold gate is in the sky, looking down at the ground, and at some distance further down from where you're looking, even though you're looking forward, there is another fold gate that's open, also in the Escher-esque. And through that fold gate, you can see a kind of beachy scene. Like you can see what looks like maybe sand and maybe like a wooden dock and some small houses. And if you really look, you can see like a small figure that could be a gnome.
But on Cockadoon.
I
see. Okay. Well, I guess Vynos won't touch the portal just in case anybody else around here has a way of getting them back. But Vynos takes a look at the situation. Fold gate is a couple feet in front of him. The Salesthem is 10 feet behind. And Vynos starts thinking about all that the weird could offer upon this AI creature. He opens up his bag, he rifles through, he throws out a feather and a kind of a wood piece that's got a couple of jewels on it. He reaches down and he goes, aha! And he pulls out a long stick and he says, oh, that's not it. He reaches back in and pulls out a double-barreled shotgun. He loads the shotgun with some slugs that he has, and points the shotgun at the face of the Salesthem and shoots.
You gotta give us a line. You gotta have him say something before he shoots this robot in the face with a fucking shotgun.
So he says, the mall is also for eating what we have just done.
Oh, shit, Black over here, everybody.
And then he shoots him in the face.
Okay. All right.
Incredible. Yeah, roll combat.
All right.
And the Salestham is going to roll movement to dodge.
6.
Ooh, that's going to be tough. So Vynos, he's got a relatively low combat of 4 plus 1, so he will burn 3 grit to add 3, and he rolls a 5. So that is 8 total.
And the Salestham rolled a 6. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you fire a slug round, which is just like a cylinder of metal. Directly at the Salestham, and yeah, something interesting happens. You hear a loud like thung sound, like metal hitting metal, and the Salestham like blinks a little bit.
Yeah, for a brief moment, like the body, the like visible body of the Salestham just sort of like vibrates and shimmies, like if you were to take a. Like if you were to take like a I don't know, a DVD player and shake it really hard while it's playing a movie, it's like something fucked this thing up, and it kind of leans back and it sits back up, it raises itself back up, and there's not a mark on it. There's not a mark on it. But behind it, there's a trail of just like smoking shards of metal and like chips and wires and like stuff on the ground, just like in a line behind it. But you can see no difference. That hurt. And that's no way to treat a potential business partner.
Nick, tell us how much damage does the Salestham take?
It's 3d4. So
roll 3d4.
Wow.
Only 4.
So the Salestham takes 4 damage.
Wow.
Okay.
Merkis.
Merkis is still on the ground next to Deep River and starts rummaging through his pack. Okay, where did I put it? Where did I put it? And pulls out the stupendous foamator, the little silver blimp, and from below ejects the foam toward the Salestham.
Roll combat, and the Salestham will roll movement to dodge.
Okay, Merkis is gonna burn 3.
That's a good idea. Trap the Salestham in a foam block.
Yeah. Oh, 8, so 11.
I rolled a 7.
So you pull back on the plunger and you push it back down, and the stupendous foamator expands, and the lights in between the seams of the flanges of the blimp light up, and there's this bright, the room is mostly red, but around you it is now a disco party.
Yeah.
And this very excited male voice just starts singing, "Who loves foam? The customers of the stupendous foamator love foam. They're big fans of foam." It's truly awful. It's like a terrible, it's just a very, very bad dance hit. The Salesthem, you are now covered in like a kind of like creamy white foam that over the next, it expands and it gets bigger and bigger. It takes an hour to harden. So, over the next few minutes, it will start to get stiffer and stiffer. But yeah, you're now covered in a weird kind of foam, and there's a bunch of foam on the ground too. And it's like growing and growing and growing in the space that you're in.
Okay, and you can see that the foam is like kind of like coming in and out of the surface of the Salesthem. It's very, very strange sort of visual effect. There's like knobs of foam, not on their skin, but like coming through their skin.
Whoa.
Weird.
What could it mean?
What could it mean? Please tell me it's the Salesthem's turn.
Beta and the Salesthem act at the same time. So if you want, you can either act at the same time, or I would let you do another movement tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
Oh, roll
I
it
rolled a
again.
9.
Oh, well,
roll a
I
9.
can't roll higher than a 9 because I have a D8.
Tie me.
I roll a 7.
You got a D8?
Yeah.
Okay, Salesthem goes first. Are you guys okay with this rule?
Yes.
Okay, a movement tiebreaker. All right, yeah, Salesthem acts first.
The Salesthem separates.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay.
The Salesthem, the Salesthem, without moving their like limbs, the Salesthem just floats through Vynos, just like goes through Vynos and ends up on the other side of Vynos. And this all happens in a split second. And what you see is that left where the Salesthem was is a metal humanoid machine that is covered in like the foam stuff. And as soon as what is very clear now is a sort of projection or hologram of the Salesthem passes through Vynos, the mechanical metal self follows at an incredibly fast speed. Right through Vynos. This move is called Touch the Doorknob.
Okay.
Mike made a beautiful suite of powers with this character. It's great.
I took all the names from things that my boss in 2008 told me about sales tactics.
Amazing.
A man who I think had to flee New York so that he didn't go to prison.
Wow.
Sounds like a good
So
salesman.
does that do damage?
It's pretty good.
Yes.
It could.
Fuck. I'm burning grit, baby.
So what Taylor is describing is basically the skin, like the projected skin of the Salesthem, very like instantaneously moves from one place to the other, and the metal body follows it at a high rate of speed and basically just bowls through whatever's in the way. So it just careens through a bunch of garbage. It breaks through some of the sides of the cubicles, and if Vynos is standing in the way, which it sounds like Taylor has positioned it such that that is exactly the case, then Vynos is going to get slammed into if he doesn't get out of the way.
Unless Vynos passes a move check greater than 8.
Ooh, well, that seems hard, but I will try. And I got a 3.
So you got to roll a d6 and take that damage, baby.
Oi.
As the metal carapace of the Salesthem slams into Vynos.
3.
3 damage.
3 damage.
Damn.
Beta, you have just seen the Salesthem send a projection of its outward appearance across the room, and then a metal body followed it and kind of like shoulder-checked Vynos, and they are now on the other side of the fold gates that Vynos has stabilized.
Okay, Beta says, wow, she does not take no for an answer. And she's a little impressed with that. And she dodges to kind of get out of the way, kind of goes where the gnomes are.
They're kind of like all around. If you want to go towards where Zap is, that's like closer to where the Salesthem just was.
Where is Zap the one that's hurt? Who's the most hurt?
Yeah, Zap is the one that's hurt.
I'm gonna go
yeah.
over where Zap is.
Yeah, he's there. He's like face down in a bunch of rubble, like sort of like groaning and like kind of trying to flip over, but you can tell he's in a lot of pain.
Is that the full? That would be a full turn.
No, you can move and do something. It's close enough that you would still have an action.
Okay, I'm going to do heal on Zap.
All right, do it up.
Okay, repair. How do I do this? Burn 2 grit to treat a person, and that person regains 2 health, and any simple condition stops. So if Zap is bleeding or something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, you make it to Zap, and you I guess in D&D you call this the laying of hands. Is that right? What does this look like?
Beta takes out of her bag some bandages to kind of put on Zap. Though the bandages are not going to do anything because her powers are more kind of like energy based. So it's kind of just like a for show. And while she does that, you can see kind of miraculously the big scrape across Zap's back is like starting to heal as she puts bandages kind of like on his hand, like places that were not damaged.
She's like giving him a haircut, but his burns are going away.
Yeah.
How much does that heal him for?
2 heal plus the condition stops, and I just burned 2 grit.
Great. Okay, cool. He is definitely appreciative and he doesn't say much. He's still like very out of it and trying to sort of keep consciousness. Remy, it's your go.
Remy's gonna run up to this robot and burn 8 grit and try and use repro. So yeah, repro is you send your nanites into an electrical device. This can be a standard Tefnian comm, a dumb ancient radio, or a sapient brain to induce any specific effect possible. The host rolls will against your reaction or your charisma, whichever is better, to detect the manipulation. And if the manipulation would destroy the host, it gets an additional will check against difficulty 7 to remain fragmented but alive. So Remy runs, I guess this looks like Remy just runs up to this robot, smacks it under the chin, or what he sees as the chin, with his palm.
Yeah, when you do that, when you sort of like give it like what is this, like an open palm uppercut almost? Yeah. Like you feel, when you do it, you feel cold, like riveted metal. Your hand kind of passes through the bejeweled Waiton face that you see, and you can feel just this tough but smooth exterior and these like plates of metal shaped around some form, and it like turns to look at you.
Right, so now it has to beat a check against Remy's charm, which is 10.
Is that including your mustache bonus?
Nope, so that's 11.
There you go.
Oh, mustache bonus.
And what does it roll against? Like, what is the...
It rolls will.
Will. And the Salesthem can burn grit. If
Oh,
it so chooses.
shit. 1.
No way.
The Salesthem rolled a 1 on a D12.
Taylor.
I was rolling so well.
Curse of Taylor.
The tradition continues.
Oh, thank
Well,
God.
Mike, let's resolve this, and then
agree.
we'll
Let's
resolve
see
this.
who's
Yeah, okay, so-
moaning. And let's just. I'm just gonna say, don't print up programs for the funeral yet, folks.
Okay, all right. Bijan, tell us what happens.
So Remy just wants this thing to shut down, just like full shutdown. Like he's trying to destroy the circuitry that can turn this thing on.
And this is, describe it to us like this is, you're using your nanites. So there's like nanotechnology emanating from your body somehow.
Yeah, so I think basically in Remy's palm, there's like I guess if you were the chin, you would see the a pool of like gray sort of fluid forming on his palm. And when he struck the thing in the face, or what he perceived to be its face, all of that found its way into the crevices under the riveted metal and is seeking whatever, like obviously what Remy wants, which is to turn this thing off. So it's like, I don't know that Remy necessarily knows what's happening with the nanites. All he knows is that he wants them to do something, and they figure out what to do based on what he wants.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to say that the 1, like normally, if you are asking something to destroy itself, it gets an additional roll. But since it rolled a 1, it's not going to make an additional roll. So, Taylor, I don't know what you have in mind, but like basically some aspect of the Salesthem is destroyed or is turned off.
I think that the part of the Salesthem that you touched is ruined and destroyed.
I mean,
right?
I think the power itself is like more like it just, the electronic thing does whatever you want it to do, which
And
is
you're
shut down.
telling it to shut down?
Yeah.
It shuts down. The outside, the visual part of the thing remains standing straight up and looking at you. and like clipping through it is this metal humanoid that leans over and flops. So now there's this very nice looking Salesdem looking at you with a humanoid metal robot sort of sticking out horizontally from its chest.
And the fold gates do not disappear. They do not stop being coming into existence around the body of this thing and around the sales floor that you are on. The next person to act are the gnomes.
I hate to say it, but
Say
do
it.
we know where Oat is? Have we lost
Oat has
Oat?
been... No, Oat is there. Oat, since the event in the elevator where he saw the snake man, he has been very, very quiet and hanging in the back, muttering to himself.
Okay.
Does not involved himself in this battle and probably should not.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we had some information of where Oat was.
Good call.
He hid when the gnomes scattered. He hid.
Okay.
Zap turns around and looks at Beta and says, "Thank you." And he sees that the sort of carapace, the metal body of this thing is like slumped over. And he shouts to Herr. He says, "Herr, Pop, if you can, dismantle it. Take it apart."
Did somebody say demolition? Ka-thunk. You hear a very particular sound of a grenade launcher being fired. And a small sort of baby food jar sized canister smacks into the metal carapace and explodes.
Which is great because the foam is flammable also.
Oh shit! The foam lights up. There is a pow. It's not a huge explosion, but it's big, and it knocks the carapace, the metal body, fully to the ground. Parts of it have been blown open, and the foam is now all over it, just like burning at a very accelerated rate. And it begins to fill the area with smoke. And as the area fills with smoke, you can see beams of light traveling through the smoke. There is a cone of light whose point is the projection of the Salesden that is talking to you. But these beams of light are being emanated from what is clearly some kind of micro projectors, hundreds or thousands and thousands of them built into the ceiling of the room.
And does this explosion, Remy has time to get out of the way?
I don't know, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'd have to roll a movement check, I think, probably.
Why don't you, roll a movement check and just make sure, past 4, I'm going to make it pretty easy. Because I don't want you to get hurt this way.
I mean,
kind of for no reason other than I don't want you to get
7.
hurt. Okay, yeah, you're fine. So even
Remy also he's jumped on grenades before. I don't think
That's
he's particularly worried.
Yeah.
Loves a grenade.
We don't want you to foam yourself. That didn't work out well last time.
Yeah.
You it's warm, it's hot. You maybe singe an eyebrow. The end of your mustache curls up a little bit, but otherwise it's good.
Not the stash, bro.
Half of it gone. Half the mustache is gone.
You got a plus half to charisma to charm. Okay, Vynos, it's your go. The metal body of the Salesdem is in tatters in a pile on the ground, but the Harajun projection that you have seen remains stalwart, and you can now see, as Taylor described, that the projection seems to be emanating from the screen that is the ceiling.
Vynos knows now that this is not a projection coming from the bot itself, and obviously its controls aren't coming from the bot itself. I guess we got to find out where the
You still got that
central
shotgun,
control.
right?
Yeah, I do. It seems that the point of central control for the building isn't anywhere in the vicinity, so I guess I'm not 100% sure how we're in initiative. What are we fighting?
You'll see
The
when I get
hologram.
my next turn, my friend.
Okay. Taylor hasn't had a turn since the carapace has been destroyed.
Vynos is actually just pissed that this thing ran into him and,
I would be too.
shoulder
Yeah.
checked him. So he's kind of just getting up, getting his wits about him, and sees where the projection is coming from, points up and shoots.
The slug blows a hole in what is clearly now a very fragile ceiling. Probably fragile because it's made up of millions of pico projectors of futuristic provenance. When you hit the spot right above the, I don't think he has to roll to hit a immobile.
No, and the
wall
building
of room.
can't roll movement.
The building can't roll movement. So you knock a big chunk of the projectors that are projecting the Salesdem. You knock just pulverize them. And when you do so, you see two things. You see that the projection of the Salesdhem, part of it flickers and becomes a little more, a little faded. But then you see some projectors turn on just a foot away from the hole, and the hologram gets a little bit brighter. But you can also see through the hole that there's these like weird wires or pipes up in the ceiling that look organic. Like intestines or something like that, but they're bent at like right angles. And it seems to be that these cables are what's connecting to the projectors in the ceiling.
But there's no fluid coming from them, though, right?
Yeah, there's like a little bit of fluid coming from them.
What does the fluid look like?
Yeah, translucent, whitish.
Okay, all right, cool.
Your standard Android fluid.
Standard fluid.
Android fluid. All right, cool.
So there's your problem.
Yeah,
Yep.
get your fluids.
It's leaking milk. It's you can't have an Android leaking milk.
Is Chester in this game too?
Yes. Yes, Chester's. Chester
Give me a
is
few weeks.
In every character. Yeah.
Merkis like hops up, is standing now, and grabs the boot from his tail and kisses it. And does a little cartwheel thing and launches the boot upward into that open area into the ceiling. So he's just basically throwing a boot up there. Hopefully it hits. Got a 9.
I mean, yeah, you can do two damage, I guess.
Yeah, I think you knock some of those biological, like weird mechano-biological cables loose, and some more of the pico projectors go out.
Gotta roll a d4 for the damage.
Okay.
And it's a 4.
Yeah, you hear the boot clatter on the other side of this weird projector drop ceiling, where now that you've destroyed a part of it, you can see that there's this strange techno-biological construct of some kind, like maze of something or other. And yeah, you hear it clatter, you hear it knock a bunch of stuff, and some of the little projectors that were making up a part of the Salesdhem and flashing the kind of red in the room like flicker and go out, and then the Salesdhem reforms as other little projectors turn on.
Deep Reaver, did you see that? Did you see that?
Really good stuff.
Do we want to do another tiebreaker between Beta and the Salesdhem?
Yeah.
Okay, each of you roll movement.
5.
4.
Salesdhem goes first.
Salesdhem looks at Merkis and sort of like vanishes, just becomes faint. And because the room has all this like smoke and like particulate matter in it, you can it's just like the way, you can see a laser pointer in the smoke. You can see the beams of these projectors coming from the ceiling. You can see that they stop projecting the Salesdhem and they point directly at Merkis, and they focus into a white hot laser beam.
Oh no, Merkis!
Cooked gecko.
How much grit am I allowed to burn at once?
Oh my god.
As much as you want.
Oh, really?
I think so.
No.
Wythe has never stopped me from burning.
But it's sets of 3, so it's 3, 6, 9.
Oh, you mean for boosting a roll?
Yeah.
Oh, 9.
Okay, I'm gonna burn 9.
Damn.
18.
Is that what Merkis has to roll to dodge?
Marcus!
The Salesdhem is mad.
That's a
Okay.
toasty gecko.
So that's a 10, right? I know, that's movement, right?
Yeah, you have to beat 18 movement.
That's
Oh shit. Okay.
Actually, no, that's not true. It's
It's in square meters. Is that what it is?
okay. Oh yeah. Let me just read this out loud.
Are you doing sweatem?
Yeah, I'm doing sweatem. For reaction plus grit, the Salesdhem is able to focus a set of projectors on the ceiling of the DLU to create an area of intense heat. The area is a meter square, and any additional X grit makes the area X square meters larger. Ooh, okay. So that would be 9 square, so 10 square meters.
That's
to escape
everybody.
the target. That's going to be Merkis and some other people, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. To escape, target must make a 6 plus 9, so a 15 move check, or take D10 damage every time they start the round in their area.
D10, not immediately. Only when
Not
you start
immediately,
your
when you start your
start your round. If you start
Okay.
your round, yeah.
Merkis is definitely gonna burn 9 for this and roll a d10 to move. Shoot, that's a 13 total.
You didn't make it.
Damn.
Yes. It's getting hot in here.
If Merkis is standing where I imagine Merkis to be standing, I think there's Deep River has to dodge, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
imagine Merkis being near anyone else.
No, they were together the whole time.
Yeah.
What are we using for
D8s, straight D8s. The gnomes are just all D8s.
Deep River does not try to jump out of the burning area of the laser. Deep River jumps on top of Merkis to shield Merkis.
Deep
And
River.
I'll roll and you tell me the outcome of that attempt. 4.
I mean, I was going to say, I think 4 is the threshold that that Deep River is, Merkis is small, Deep River is roughly the same size. Like, we have established in the elevator that gnomes climb people sometimes.
Yeah.
So, like, I think Deep River is able to maybe even just tackle Merkis and be like, and just starfish and try to protect Merkis.
Deep River has wrapped herself around Merkis's head.
Merkis and everybody else, you can see that there is a bright white, large square that's forming with Merkis and Deep River in the middle of it. And Merkis, slightly less so for you, more so for Deep River, it's getting very warm. The next person to act is Beta.
Okay. I want to use Augur. And that's the power I have where I can ask any answerable short question. At the end of the round, after everyone else in initiative has acted, the nameless thing whom you contacted will reply with the answer.
It's at the end of this round before we loop
Yes.
back.
The answer may be vague depending on the question, but it will not be a malicious lie or incomplete.
Got it, good.
So Beta is kind of hidden because she didn't move since she helped Zap, which was kind of hidden behind some stuff. So she's there. She's seeing what's going on. She just saw Deep River jump on top of Merkis, and she's like, "Okay, I gotta talk to someone." So she kind of pulls her sword out of the sword holder that she had her sword in, which it didn't really fit in very well because it's pretty broken and crooked. And she looks at it and she's like, "Okay, tell me, babe, where is the heart of this creature?" Because she wants to know where they need to attack in order to end this thing.
You do not get an immediate answer, but you know that sometimes, especially in the heat of battle, the infinite beings to which you speak take a moment to respond.
Yes. Okay. I burn 10 minus D reaction. Not reaction, D reason, which is 11. No, it's 12 plus 1. Oh, yes. But it's a minimum of 2. So.
Did you roll really well?
Yeah, I
Nice.
rolled an 11.
Remy, your go.
So, Mike, I do have a question for you.
Sure.
In game terms. So I have my endothermic grenade launcher, grenade maker thing.
Yeah.
Does that take grit to use?
Let me look. Pass a 7 reason test.
Oh, so there's no
cost.
There's no cost.
No cost associated. It's just difficult to use.
Yeah. 7 reason.
Good information for the future. So he saw what happened with Vynos just shooting the ceiling with a shotgun, and decides that he's going to do the same thing. Remy's going to burn 3 grit and use charge, which is the gambit thing. Nanites transfer a rush of bioelectric energy into any object. Explodes if it hits. So let me roll my combat.
What are you going to throw?
There's a bunch of detritus laying around, right?
True.
Like, it doesn't matter what it is.
Tons of stuff.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of
I
crap
think-
lying around.
What's the coolest object close to Remy?
There's-
What's the coolest looking paperweight nearby?
I was gonna say there's like a somehow perfectly unbroken, just perfectly clean porcelain white coffee mug at your feet.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. This is control. You've described control. So Remy's going to pick up the coffee mug and just like hold it in his hands, not holding the handle, holding just the mug itself, and shoot it from his palms like he's shooting some sort of energy beam. I have to roll my combat +3 because I'm burning 3 grit here.
And where are you aiming for? Are you just aiming for that whole same hole in the
I'm
ceiling?
aiming directly into the hole.
Right.
Yeah.
Into the hole. Okay.
He's seeing the whitish fluid drip out. I think he's aiming specifically for at wherever, because he can't see really into the hole. He can just see the stuff coming out of it, right?
Well, no, you can see into the hole. It's not like a deep ceiling. It's kind of like a drop ceiling. The lights are installed right, above the tiles, right above the part that was blown open. You can see there's just whatever was connected to these projectors has been severed and is kind of dripping.
Yeah, she's gonna shoot it into the hole and hope it explodes in the right place. He rolled a 13, which is max. That is the highest he can roll. So it's okay, 13 plus 3. So my to hit is 16. Do I hit?
Yes.
Okay.
Taylor?
All right.
Oh, I mean, yeah. So how big is the blast radius on this thing?
Yeah, the building can't really dodge, so.
Yeah, so the object explodes and deals damage equal to d6 plus x plus your level. So that's 1d6 plus 3 plus 2.
I think that's a hell of a lot bigger than a shotgun slug. So the hole, is just you blow a much larger hole around it, and sure enough, you disrupt the projectors lasering Merkis and Deep River. But all that means is that new projectors come to life outside of that, around the edge of that hole. It looks like the whole ceiling's covered in these things. You do see more of those wires that were connected to the projectors are hanging out.
Guys, I think we got to get the fuck out of here. I don't think we can kill the entire building.
Peter says, I agree with that.
Is that your turn?
I think he's gonna run over to Beta also, just because you have one action and one.
Yeah, you can move. Yeah, you can get there.
Movement.
Yeah.
Okay. So down by Zap. Yeah.
So at the end of Remy's turn, Beta, your sword jiggles a little bit and pops open from the scabbard, sort of on its own. And you hear a tiny voice come from it that's hard to hear. You can't, it's very quiet and very difficult to understand. Do you put the sword up to your ear?
Yes.
Hey, psst, hey, Beta, hey, Beta,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Beta.
Yeah. I know. Yes.
What's this guy's deal?
What? No, you're supposed to tell me this guy's deal.
Yeah, but what's this, how did you get yourself in?
I mean, I really can't get into this right now, but basically, I was offered some timeshares, and I just, me, I just always put my foot down.
You're always going for people out of your league. You gotta.
I know, but if you could have seen her when she was in her true form, you would have fallen for.
I'm saying, hey, listen, I'm saying, sometimes you aim high.
I aim high.
You gotta aim high.
Aim high. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, I have to aim higher.
Yeah.
To the left or the right?
She seems great, but she got baggage, so she's great.
Yeah.
You can do better. You aim high. You gotta aim higher.
Aim higher.
Meanwhile, Merkis is corner of his eye can see Beta talking to her sword. What's she doing?
The picture it's like
Merkis can't see shit.
Well, his eyes are very wide set.
what is that not helpful?
Yeah, but there's a lot of height here. It's a wide height.
Yeah, listen, you just gotta follow your heart, I guess.
Okay, follow my heart. Okay.
Maybe you could ask someone that's had more experience, someone who's been through this before.
Oh, okay. Maybe I could be like, okay, I get it.
Just get some advice from
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, I gotta go. I got a thing.
Yeah. You always have a thing.
All right.
Okay. Ugh. You make me so tired when I talk to you. I just get a little bit sleepy.
Back around, and it's now the gnome's turn, and Zap is standing up, and he's taking in the full scene finally, and he looks, and he shouts, Pop, you gotta remember where that panel is. Where was the panel?
Yeah, it's high.
It's was up high because I had to stack a chair and a desk. It's up in the ceiling somewhere, I believe. Oh, it's in the middle. I was in the middle of the room, up in the ceiling, I believe.
If that is the case, this room's very, very big. You probably have 50 yards to run to get to what might be the middle.
Vynos starts running towards the middle of the room.
Hell yeah, run to the middle of the room.
Says nothing, just begins booking it.
I mean, if you want to make that be your whole turn and you want to just turn your action into a sprint, basically, I think you could probably get within sight of the middle. And sure enough, you actually do see a very neatly stacked pile of furniture.
Oh.
When you run further towards the middle into what up until this point has been either dark red or just dark horizon deep into this huge, huge room, you do see a cube that's been cleared and and there's a desk, and on top of the desk is a filing cabinet, and on top of the filing cabinet is another filing cabinet, turns the other way. And you're not there yet, but you can definitely make it out. Merkis, it's your go. Deep River. Roll a d10. Should I roll it, or do you want to roll it?
I'll roll it.
River, no.
8.
8?
Yikes.
8.
Deep River takes 8 damage. And is starting to get singed in the white hot heat of this bright white projection from the ceiling.
Okay, Merkis is gonna roll movement, but burn 6. Oh, 14.
No, that's so close.
No.
Do we think this is also damage or no?
Yes,
know.
damage.
I mean-
I think because she's because Merkis is protected, it's not going to be a D10. I think a D6 is reasonable.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think you now take d6 damage.
Yikes.
4. Wow. So Merkis is just trying to move out of the way, but the weight of Deep River is unexpected, and so it doesn't quite get out of the way of the laser.
It's hot, and your skin is starting to get dry.
Oh.
Yeah. Starting to exfoliate.
Okay, roll a movement tiebreaker between Beta and the Salesthem.
7.
2.
Can the Salesthem maintain the beam
it.
and also do something else?
It cannot sweat them it cannot sweat them twice. It can only sweat them once at a time, and it cannot sweat them and close.
The beam continues to cook Deep River and Merkis. In fact, maybe it intensifies. That's it.
Is that your turn? All right.
Okay.
Beta, you have just received some advice from your sword, and you have heard Pop describe the location that he remembered was like maybe in the middle, and that he stacked some furniture, and then you have seen Vynos book it away from where you currently are.
Beta is going to. Okay, this is what she's going to do. She is going to connect Vynos's mind with Pop in the hope that Pop can remember how he turned on and off this controller, and that Vynos can do it then, listening to him. So she just yells, "Connection incoming," and then connects them by burning 2 grit and connecting the 2 minds together telepathically for, are we level 1? We're level 2?
You're level 2.
So it'll be for 4 minutes.
So Vynos, out of nowhere, as you're jogging through this dark room towards this monolith of furniture, you just hear in your brain whatever it is Pop was thinking at the moment.
I don't remember if I made that tall tower of furniture very well or not. I think I was in a hurry. I hope that old man doesn't hurt himself.
Pop, you hear whatever Vynos is thinking about at this moment.
And Vynos is thinking, well, that's a strange accent. I've been taken upon myself to speak in my own brain. What
So yeah, you guys can talk to one another. And I guess you can also hear Beta like saying connecting and hello.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Thank you, Beta. Hello, Pop. I'll try to be careful on the furniture.
Yeah, you but ought to be careful. You know, all this fun of stuff going around, you can still fall down and hurt your head.
Too true.
Beta, is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Remy, it's all you.
Sick. Remy's gonna run halfway across the room and then try and use this endothermic grenade maker and just chuck it at the pile of stuff.
Sweet. Yeah.
Because I don't think Vynos is quite there yet, right?
No, he's not quite there yet. You would feel confident if you're gonna not run your full length.
Yeah.
You would, I think, still feel confident that, barring a terrible roll, it should be relatively easy for you to toss something over Vynos's head.
He's trying to chuck a grenade from this grenade maker in such a way that it bounces off like the top of the filing cabinet and like toward the ceiling. Or I guess is there anything else on top of the filing cabinet? Maybe there's a chair on top of it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a precarious pile of just office furniture. So yeah, there's like a chair on top of it, and on top of the chairs.
He's just trying to hit a bank shot and bank the grenade up to the ceiling.
You're shooting a grenade at the pile of furniture I'm running at to use to turn off a panel.
Yes.
Okay. All right, great.
I mean, there's no guarantee this will work.
So you jog down this dark room, trailing Vynos, and you pull out the weird calipers that aren't calipers, and you futz with the controls on the face of this weird little box.
And then just start wiggling the calipers back and forth.
Yeah.
Ooh, didn't pass the reason check.
There's like a little green screen on it, like a little readout, and you can see that there's a bunch of like numbers scrolling back and forth on it, and you can tell that as you turn the dial, like some of the numbers scroll by faster and some of them scroll by slower, and like you get the sense that maybe what you need to do is like get them all to stop, and that you're kind of calibrating it to like know what it's supposed to do, but you can't figure it out. It's not doing anything.
Yeah. So nothing happens. But Remy is headed that direction, right behind Vynos.
The gnomes do the same thing. They run towards Vynos and make a break for it. I guess Pop sort of like takes up the rear. Vynos, it's your go. You can, in this turn, run a normal amount of distance. Like you don't have to strain yourself and get to the pile of furniture.
Okay, so he gets to the pile of furniture, climbs up it carefully, and asks Pop, okay, now, how do I turn this thing off, Pop?
Well, I think that it was pretty easy to turn it on.
Yes.
You gotta get up in there, boy.
So I go to try to get up in there. Mike, is there any movement check or anything to see how well I get up it, or do I actually have access to the panel now?
So it's actually pretty sturdy.
Okay,
Pop actually did it doesn't look like it is, but like all the things are very heavy and well made. Yeah, so you climb up this thing and you push on the panels and they give way.
Yeah.
Taylor, what does Vynos see when he sticks his head in the ceiling?
What you see is a cube of throbbing, mottled flesh of many colors, with dozens and dozens and dozens of these right angle, but nevertheless shimmering, moist biological pipes and tubes running into this sort of central nexus. It's about the size of a nice old TV. Not too big, but it's putting out heat. You can feel the vibration coming from it, and from within, you can hear the very distinct and recognizable thrum of a high-powered computational device. On the exterior are tons of like bone and tendon. Like switches and gauges and sliders and knobs, ports.
Ugh, this is like a David Cronenberg.
Yeah. Pop, do you remember what switch you chose? There's several.
I was trying a whole bunch because I was trying to. I thought that what it was a communications tower. I did not know that it was a machine that controlled a nice man.
Whichever way that most of the switchers are facing towards, Vynos pushes them all the opposite way.
Yeah, a giant voice chimes out.
Shutdown confirm?
Yes.
Shutdown confirmed. Last chance to cancel shutdown.
Vynos is silent.
Would you like to cancel shutdown?
No. Confirm shutdown.
Shutdown confirmed.
The light goes out.
You are all in a massive, darkened cubicle office full of garbage, and the previously brightly red lit ceiling, and in certain locations, bright white and hot lit ceiling is now off.
Oh, what about the portals?
The clouds of small fold gates in this room all disappear. If you turn back, however, the one that is held open by the fold gate stabilizer remains stabilized.
Vynos just collapses on top of the file cabinet, just breathing hard.
Merkis falls backwards with Deep River still on top of him. Oh, God.
Yeah, it is now a normal
goodness.
temperature where you are.
Beta says, great job, Vynos. Okay, who's in the worst shape here?
And are they still connected?
Yeah, I mean, it's 4
with their
minutes, right?
brains?
Yeah.
You turned the nice young man off.
Pop, you listen to me carefully. Please, don't ever turn the nice man on again. Please.
Don't turn the who on again?
The nice man. The man that you think
he
is nice,
back?
who tried to kill us.
Oh, tell him I
No.
said hello.
I'm not gonna do that. You never mind this area at all, please.
Who is this in my head?
It's still Vynos.
Vito's?
Yes, the old man on top of the file cabinet. We'll talk later.
It's such a shame you can't hang up your own brain.
Yeah.
This is a kind of hell.
Yes, I agree.
I imagine like Beta is like Lily Tomlin,
Yes.
like operator. Like, operator.
Beta knows that she could disconnect them right now, but is like, no, This is fine.
Deep River climbs off of Merkis, and a big chunk of her hair is been singed close to her head. She looks at Merkis and says, "You got a sunburn."
And you can see like little dry patches on his skin. But he gets out a little, what is it called?
Oh, yeah.
Stimtonil, which are basically like Band-Aids. And puts one on like where Deep River was burned. Like, was it the back of her?
Side.
Or the front of her? As a side? Yeah. So he puts like this Stimtonil patch like on there. And it's like D4 healing. Hold on.
It doesn't come close to fixing it, but she says, "Oh, thank you. It feels
It's just two little points of recovery.
good." Her head's smoking.
And
That feels good.
and he's just like matching her intense like staring like they were in the elevator.
Deep River kisses Merkis.
Kiss Cam, kiss Cam.
And it's just tea kettle noise the whole time for a full minute. And his ear flaps just completely unfurl and just go.
Thank God Beta is not seeing this. She would be so pissed.
You are lit only by the dull glow of the stabilized fold gate that is pouring out the light of bright Kakudun through about 25 meters of the Escher-esque. So it's you're like lit by what is effectively moonlight in this moment.
Oh, gosh, that's sweet.
And then afterward, Merkis is just wiping the mucus off her face.
Everybody over at the furniture monolith hears the dull tea kettle noise of Merkis in the distance, and it's mostly dark except for the stabilized fold gate.
Vynos walks over to the fold gate, goes to reach out to grab the fold gate stabilizer. He pauses and then turns to his crew and says, "Don't we need to go to Kakadun?"
You are now leaving Float City. Thanks for listening, and thanks to everybody who supported us over the last 2 weeks during our fundraiser. Fun City has been trying to raise some cash so we can hire an editor in the hopes of making release more consistent and reliable. If you like the show and you want to help us keep making it, head on over to patreon.com/Fun City Ventures. $5 a month gets you access to a whole other show we do called Fun Chatty. It gets you access to our rad as heck Discord full of very weird and smart nerds. It gets you access to music playlists and more. It is a wild deal. You wanna. Patreon.com/Fun City Ventures. And of course, thanks to all of our current patrons for help keeping this ship afloat.
Hi, I'm Bijan Steven, and I play Remy Tester on Float City. You can find me online on Twitter at Bijan Steven, BIJANSTEPHEN, on Twitch at the same name, and on Instagram at Bijan Cakes, BIJAN Cakes.
I'm Jen De La Vega. I play Merkis and Meldar. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Randwiches. That's the word sandwiches, but replace the S with an R.
This is Shannon Odell. I play Beta Combat. You can find me on social at Showdell.
Hello, this is Nick Guercio, and I play Lux on Fun City and Vynos on Float City. You can find me at Nicholas Guercio on Twitter and in Guercio on Instagram. You spell Guercio Guercio.
I'm Taylor Moore, and I play all the cool, interesting characters. You can follow me at taylor.biz.
My name is Mike Rugnetta. I am your GM, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mike Rugnetta. You can find the show on Twitter and Instagram at Fun City Ventures. Float City is played in a soon-to-be-released system called Stillfleet, which you can find on Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon at Stillfleet. This episode of Float City was recorded at various locations around Brooklyn, New York. It was produced, edited, and sound designed by me, Mike Rugnetta. The citizens of New York close their books and lock their chests. The mariners of Boston drop their anchors unlaid. Pixlriffs casts his pen upon the earth. Fun City's music is by Sam Tyndall. Remy's flute playing is by Jake Fridkiss. Our art is by Tess Stone. Our Discord mods are Olivia Goulin, Kit, Pulliam, and Kestrel. And the voice of Artemis is Molly Templeton.